Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the August Town Hall. My name is Chris Netto. I am your host. I am the Market Development Manager here at Starin. Thank you all for coming. I know it's summertime. We appreciate you hanging around as opposed to going to the beach. And for those that are on the beach watching this, I applaud you for getting that whole work life and off hours thing in at the same time. I envy you. With us today, we have Albert Campbell. Albert is the Distribution Channel Account Manager for Poly. He's going to tell us about the wonderful things that Poly has in store for you, what is coming. And of course, we're not going to let him off the hook. We're going to ask him what's new and what's coming, because that's what you're here for. We also obviously have some cool prizes to give at the end. So please stick around and find out who wins these prizes. So without further ado, Mr. Albert Campbell, please introduce yourself and what you do and what your what Poly is all about.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chris. And can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Cool. Hey guys, Albert Campbell here. I'm out of Wilmington, Delaware. Let's see, I've been at Poly 15 years. Before that, I was at a small credit card company that swallowed up Delaware. It was called MBNA. And then before that, DuPont. So in the industry, 25 years, which makes me old. No, just teasing. So been around a while. I like to tell some new customers that I interact with when I first started in the industry, endpoints for $65,000, a single screen, huge, and did like 7 to 10 frames per second. And now we're all the way to what I'm going to show you later. A $1,500 MSRP system can do 4K, right? So we've come a long way. Thank you for your time. And we're just going to hop right in on some of the back to work USB stuff we have.
I just want to point out, just before we get started, we're not going to hold it against you that you are in Delaware.
Okay.
So just for those that are sitting there impatiently waiting for a New Jersey person to comment on Delaware, that has happened. So let's go and jump right into the Poly Studio.
Cool. So what we're showing here is our Poly Studio, and it's our USB device that enhances whatever UC platform I'm doing on my PC. I really like this particular device, not only because it's USB connectivity, but it's just easy to set up, right? It's power, USB in, as you can see there, 120-degree field of view. It has auto framing, meaning if it's for a teacher and I'm walking around, I'll be able to see that. You see the noise block, acoustic vents, conversation mode. What I'm going to do right now is slide this chair out of the way a second and show you a little bit more about it. So I'm going to walk over to my Poly X30 and use the whiteboard feature of it. What we have here, that's my drawing of the studio, which is right here, right? A little bigger than some of the products we're going to talk about, but very nice for small to medium conference rooms and also for teachers that are walking back and forth with camera tracking. But when we talk about noise block AI, what we're talking about is the ability to set on this system almost like an acoustic beam where any outside noise here cannot be heard. So if you can envision, if I was on this call and I have this set up to my laptop and there's all kinds of noise going on back here. It used to be when my kids were home from college, you would hear all that. You would not hear any of that, right? The noise block AI has the intelligence to take that out. It also has the intelligence to take out clapping, any other dogs barking, and anything like that. So just a really cool feature that I like on the USB Studio. One of the easiest products, well, all our USB products, but a very easy product to install. I also want to talk about some deals we did, right? LA School District bought 15,000 of these, along with tons of headsets. And the Boston School District also 6,000. So just a ton of people buying our USB Studio. Just wanted to let you guys know that.
Pardon the interruption, Albert, but I'd just like to point out that I am on a P15 and there is my neighbor, of course, is out cutting his grass because that's what he does at this hour.
That's perfect. And I didn't even set that up.
You just walked right into this one. So thank you. I appreciate the noise block feature. So thank you, sir. Anyway, I'm done. P15 is what I'm on today, folks. So if you like what you're seeing, it's from Thanos to here. That's how wide we're going. If you can see Thanos off to the side.
Yes.
Cool.
So again, that is our USB studio. The great thing about that, tons in stock. There's spiffs out there, not only for the disty, but also for you resellers. So if you have any back to school people or just small to medium conference rooms, great. It's also, we have on there something called conversation mode. So as we're kind of still in the COVID area, say I'm in a conference room, I'm on this side of the table, Chris is on the other side of the table, we're both talking back and forth. It'll throw it, we have conversation mode where it'll put us both on the screen. So it'll cut the screen in half, has the intelligence to put us both on there like CNN or Fox News, right? When they're doing an interview, both from the same room. All you do is in the web UI, check conversation mode. So just a real slick little, small to medium conference room, USB studio that we have. Tons in stock and spiffs out there for both the disty and the reseller.
Excellent.
Yes, we always love spiffs, right?
We're just waiting for the presentation to pop up. There we go.
There we go. So next, we're going to talk about the P5. And this is a little tangled there, apologize. So this is our new P5 camera from our P series. When I'm not in a call and I have my camera shutter open, it's kind of white. If I close my camera shutter, you're going to see, I call it the little mohawk goes green. I'm sorry, red. And if I open it up during a call, it would be green. The other cool thing I like about this is I can disconnect it. So if I wanted to maybe bring the problem to the expert, I'm on my PC, maybe I need to take this into a rack or show wiring, or maybe an automotive, I need to show the motor. I could take it anywhere with my PC and bring the problem back to the expert. It just snaps in there. The other cool thing, it has this little trap door back here that has a piece of plastic that will cover it. Sorry. There I am there. And that allows me to put in our USB headsets or even our USB dongles. So why is that important? The newer PCs, we're getting less and less USB connectors. So this allows me one USB connector to my PC is going to give me my video and my audio, say a headset. So a very nice feature, rugged, tripod ready, also a part of the lens. So really like this little guy, throw it in my backpack all the time and just go back and forth wherever I need to go.
Albert, does that USB have any power to it?
This one in here?
Yes, sir.
Does
it transfer power over to that? Like if you need a powered USB connection back there?
Yeah, well, it does power my headset. So yes, when I put it in there.
There has got something in there. That's it.
Yes. So I would say yes to that. And it will light up the dongle. So yes, it does. Next slide, please. And everything I'm showing you now on the P series, right? It takes this experience from my laptop, which is, I don't want to, how can I say this? Not nice or crappy speakers and microphone and cameras are in there, and we take that and make the experience better.
Can I
kind of walked around that? Yeah. Yes.
So in the last 18 months of us being home and working from home, we kind of discovered that cameras within your laptop, your microphones in the laptop, and your laptop audio may not be the greatest. So having these products from Poly has actually been a much better experience overall for the end user and for the people that are obviously, if you're listening to a conference or a webinar, I can come at you in stereo, but more importantly, I can hear you clearly. So I think that in 18 months, one of the things that we all learned as an industry is that we can do better when it comes to the existing laptop. And no disrespect for company issued laptops, but typically company issued laptops or business laptops in general do not have the best of speakers and sound and stuff like that. They'll have high processors and they allow you to do multiple things, but audio and video was not part of the thinking, I would say 18 months ago when these things were all being handed out. So just some food for thought for the folks that are there. You can improve your audio by adding it to it because existing is just not going to cut it for a lot of people, especially students and people that are, critical listening, hanging on to every word. I know you guys are not listening to me, but that's okay. It's all good.
Hey, I was. That was a great explanation.
Thank you. Tell us more about these P5 kits, because these are interesting, because these are kind of a bundled package that you guys are putting together.
Right. So great things that I like about these, and you hear me say the great thing because I always look at things as a customer because I was a customer for so long before I came over. But it's one box shipped to whoever my customer is, right? My camera's in there, and then we give you three different flavors of headsets. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with our Sync 20, but we also have our Sync 20 as one of the boxes. So if you can envision, if we had this, as Chris was talking about some 18 months ago, maybe I am at DuPont or one of the big companies, and I have 100 of these in one of my closets. And now, hey, we have to work from home, or we're not going to travel anymore. I would just pass these out to my people that are going work from home, and be able to have like a clear, constant experience. We also have lens running in the background. We won't get into that too much, but lens running in the background. I can see a lot of data and trends going on with the USB connected P series that we're doing.
I have a question, and
Yeah.
this is again because now that I've got you, now I'm going to ask all these things. Sad, but that's my job here to do. Tell me that there's a scientific reason between one cup on your ear or two, or is that just a personal preference thing for people that are out there, moving these products? The end user will typically say, "Oh, I'd like, a one ear device or both of my ears covered." Can you explain if there is an advantage? How does Poly answer what is the best headset for the situation or for the environment?
Absolutely. And I think you hit it early on in your reply. I think it's personal preference. Sometimes if I'm alone and I have this on with both ears, it's really, really quiet. So like I'll pull one ear off just to make sure I'm not talking too loud. But absolutely love, I'm a two-ear guy, so I love that. We also have single ear. Some of my buddies use single ear. We have a variety of headsets, and a lot of it is per personas. If you ever get to our website, on our headset side, we have what we call personas. So it's from knowledge worker, office worker, all the way up to, executive and everything in between. And that's how we kind of steer you guys a little bit to what you might want over the ear, in the ear, boom mic. If I pull my boom mic up, if I pull it down, you can hear it again. I love this particular mic because this particular headset because it has three mics out here that cancel all the noise out there. This is our new Voyage 2. It also has something to do with your jawbone and not giving some reverberation back. So this is one of our upscale, what I would call one of our good, better, best. So best headsets, and it's fabulous. Not only for my PC, but what I like to say, it's a dual register, dual Bluetooth, right? I can go to my PC or my phone. So any call I'm getting on my PC, I answer, and or on my phone, I can answer. This particular headset is also certified for Teams. So I don't think you can see, but there's a little Teams button on the side. If I simply just hit that button, my Teams app hops up, and then I can, answer the call or connect to a call or things like that. But doing a ton in the headset space, always doing a ton there. There's a, Chris, I don't know if you've ever been to the Plantronics site, now Poly site out there, but there's a wall, what we call the wall of ears. There's 300 ears out there that's of people's ears molded that our engineers go through when we're doing, new pads or anything on headsets. So it's pretty impressive out there.
I don't know if I should be afraid of the wall of ears or
Right.
encouraged that you have 300 molds of ears at your office. But thank you. If for folks that are listening, if you want to be petrified, there's something for
Yes.
you to check out if you visit the Plantronics site. But thank you, sir, for clarifying that. And by the way, we do have a 2 thumbs up for 2 ears from Kevin, who sent me that in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, we do see your questions that are coming in. They're coming in. I am going to fire them up and throw them at Albert at the end. I'm just going to let him wrap up what he's doing, and then we'll jump into your questions. So hang on. We're getting to them. So go ahead, Albert.
So guys, and just to finish up on those kits, those are the kits, but of course you could order separate. I could order my P5 with any headset we have, right? And they would work together. Mm-hmm. Next, we're going to do P15. I don't have a P15 with me. Chris is on one. I love the P15. Fit in your backpack, take it with you. Privacy shutter there on the front. Chris, if you can just turn your privacy shutter for us. Boom, it's done. I'll get a little red line through there to show him. 4K resolution. It has camera tracking if he would get up and walk around. It has the noise block if he has that enabled. So if he's not speaking and he's clapping or some stuff's going on, he wouldn't you wouldn't hear any of that. Now, let's talk about that for a second. Why is that important? Because when I'm in a call, especially at Poly, you're no longer telling people to go on mute unless they're really talking to a third party out there. But before, we would hear somebody tapping or noise in the background, and it would disrupt the whole meeting, right? You'd have to stop and say, hey, Albert, I know it's you, go on mute, or you're tapping your pencil, or you're eating chips or something. All that's taken out of that. That's what we call like the meeting AI you'll hear us talk about, and our acoustic AI. So that's what we do with that. And then as far as the camera tracking, you didn't want somebody to be off, say Chris moved, and you didn't want half his face on there. The P15 would say, okay, he moved. Let's find him. Let's get a nice clear shot in there. All this is done, right through the intelligence of the system. The other thing about the P15, right? USB into my PC. It's doing my camera, mic, and speakers all in that one little device there. It does need power. So you do need power for that guy.
Sounds great. I like the P15. That's that's the camera I put up today, and that's what I'm using here for a wider view, and to capture, so you can see that my dungeon and everything that I have in here. So I apologize for the mess, but real world working situation. Obviously, I can zoom in, I can get a lot closer, but I left it a little bit wider so you can see or notice the difference from the cameras that I typically use on a day-to-day basis. I actually like the wider shot, and I don't have any fancy filters going. This is straight from the Poly, so it is picking up my cameras and my LED lighting in here. Very nice. At least I can see locally that it is. Hopefully, you guys are seeing the same. Let's move on to the next one. You got the P15. You've talked to us about the package deals. This is an interesting setup here. This is the video conferencing system in a monitor.
Yes. So,
right.
And I do have one here. Sorry
Excellent.
to turn my back on you again. I'm going to move my studio out.
Yep.
And move the P21 up.
What's the size of the P21 offhand?
21 inch.
21 inch.
So we do the 21 inch. Yep.
Touch screen.
I don't have any touch screen on the bottom for actual, monitor up and down.
Excellent. Controls.
Yep. We have our little, it's going to be hard to see, guys, but we have the little privacy shutter here that would go red, right? I open it up. You can see me then. Have vanity lights on the side that you can pull up and be able to, better your image that you're doing. Also, what I like is on the bottom here, I can charge my phone. So I would just drop my phone there, and it's a charger wireless as well. Phone. Yeah, I really like this. There's lights. I don't have this in a call, but if I was in a call, I'd be off mute. It'd be green. If I went on mute, it'd be red down here. I use this a lot. I've been hopping from room to room when my kids were home, if I was doing some different things. So instead of packing a whole bunch of gear, I have my laptop, and then I just take my P21 and I have all my everything I need right there. So I actually do like the P21 a lot.
What is the MSRP on the P21?
I want to say the MSRP $895, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to find that out for you guys.
We're not going to hold you to it.
Yeah.
We'll hold you to other things, but that we won't. Good. So you have the monitor, you have everything built all in one. The design of this, was this technically made for the work from home crowd or for the executive at the desk, or both?
I think both, Chris, and that's a great point. And I was reading something from it's either Wayne House or Forrester, where it said that when we go back, there's 600 million people that are working from home now. 200 are going to go back full time. 200 million are going to be hybrid, and 200 million are going to be home the whole time. So in my mind, this hybrid is nice. If I get a little case for it, I'm in the office 2 days, I take it in, boom, I'm done. I go home for 3 days or 2 days, I put it in the case, take it home, and I'm done. I think that would be nice there. I'd like to see it when we get back to traveling in hotels. I would love to see this. If I'm taking a meeting from a hotel, just boom, I'll be using my second monitor when I'm not in a call, but when I need to, I have everything right there. So I'd love to see a hotel standardize on it or something. Maybe that's wishful thinking. But
I can't wait until, things start to settle down a little bit better, because obviously, in the state of the current world, everything is upside down right now. But I can't wait to see how a lot of, not just Poly, but other video conferencing companies in general start redefining what is executive versus what is work from home. Because at one point, honestly, back in the day, you were talking about, working with, big, very expensive systems. They were executive systems, and then they became everybody's systems. These personal displays, I remember, were only if you had an office, and this was back in early 2000. If you had an office and you had an admin that worked with you, you got one of these. If you weren't in an office, there was no chance of you getting a private video system in your office like this. But obviously everything has changed and moved. So very interested to see how the companies as an industry, we start redefining what is an executive level versus non-executive level, if there's even such a thing as VP or VIP technology anymore. So let's move on to the next, because we got to get to some of these questions. And now we're going to go into your X family. And this may address one of the questions that popped up, but we're definitely going to ask this, the gentleman's question in here as well, but go for it. And we'll see what we can get out of this.
So guys, again, as an X customer, I really liked our X series, our G7500. What I like about it is it's an all-in-one solution. So our X30 and our X50, and absolutely stay tuned to Zoomtopia on 9/13 or 9/14. We're going to have a huge announcement there as part of this family. I asked if I could give some of that info out. I was told I could not, but we're going to see this.
But I asked you to bring some of that info. Did you not get the memo?
Right. I can just say, per the company line, please look for 9/13, 9/14 Zoomtopia. You're going to see that. We're going to show you a couple cool things later on in this.
So that's what we call a teaser. I was hoping you were going to give us a spoiler. You got the two words mixed up there, Albert. So
right. If it was, I probably wouldn't be here for the next one we had.
Okay.
So the great thing I like about this product also is in what I call investment protection, right? I can start these guys in native mode. I can go to interoperability or bring your own device. And let's talk about that real quick. I'm going to walk back here again, guys, for a second, because I have this one set up what I would call interoperability mode. And let me tell you what I mean about that. Let me end that session to get out of there.
And what is that device on top of your display?
I'm sorry about that. This is the X30. So just a little low end. This is the $1,500 one I was telling you about. It's, whoops, I think I undid the cable real quick. Oh, geez, I did the power. But what it does is power, Ethernet, USB into my PC. I'm sorry, into my monitor here. And then I have it in interoperability mode for when it powers up. I'll be able to show you that. But we can also put these guys in native mode. And native means I can be in native Teams. I can be in native Zoom. I can be in native 8x8, GoToMeeting. We have like 8 UC platform ecosystem partners that this device right here will connect to seamlessly. And when we talk native, what we mean there is I get that same look and feel that I have if I have the PC. If I'm using my PC for Teams, if I have this guy in Teams, it's going to look and feel the same. If I have it in Zoom, it's going to look and feel the same. You can order our units in Zoom, which is kind of cool. If I'm a Zoom shop, I send this, it's already in the ZTP server. When I plug it in about 2-3 minutes, boom, it pops up in the Zoom and I'm ready to use it. You also see on there, bring your own device to BYOD. That allows me to be in, say, a native or in an interoperability mode, but I don't have, and I don't want to get too far out there, Chris, but we have what we call CVI, right? Cloud Video Interop Services that allows us to do, connect to Teams, or if I'm not in native mode, or Zoom if I'm not in native mode.
You would have been far out there if you left it at just CVI, because I'm sitting here going, what are those letters that I...
Right. That's what we call it, right? Our Cloud Video Interop. My calendar is going to catch up on that in a second. But in device mode, what I would do, I would go here. I would have the HDMI cable into my PC, USB in there. And now I would be using the great monitor I have here and the camera and all of its features and functionality, as well as all the audio AI we were talking about earlier as well. Let me exit out of there. My
So
calendar will catch
these
up.
are not necessarily, I mean, you have system specific devices, but you also have systems that you're just basically you purchase and you select what you want on the fly based on what you're doing.
Correct. And a lot of our small to medium customers, Chris, will say, hey, I think we're going to start in Zoom. They're there for 8 months or Teams or 8x8, and then they switch. So what happens is you no longer need to rip and replace everything out. I can just simply go in there and change.
Yeah.
And on cue, wow, this is perfect. I can hear them. Can you hear the guys cutting the grass?
No, sir.
Oh, sweet, because it's loud. Okay, so they're there.
That guy got my check. It's awesome.
Yeah, this is in interoperability mode. I wanted to show you real quick. But what that means is, here's our meeting, but I have another Zoom meeting. I can just come up here, hit join. And boom, I'm into the Zoom call. But I can also drop that call. My next call is going to be Teams. I can just go there, hit join, and I'm in my Teams call. So that's what we kind of call about interoperability and being in PolyOS mode. It allows me to simply connect to multiple UC platforms. Yep. There is some licensing behind that, but as far as your customer, all they see when they walk in is their meeting and join. They don't really care what platform they're on. So that's what when we talk about interoperability, that's what we talk about.
Sounds great.
That makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. This is funny that you have this audio experience up because I remember I remember Poly as Polycom and Polycom with their famous Starfish phone or whatever you want to call that. And then obviously the merger of Poly now and Plantronics together, you've taken two companies that were rooted in audio and have currently have a lot of development in the audio business. So this is 100% behind it. But what I'm super interested in is the big buzzword of everything that has been Infocom related for the last 2-3 years, but beamforming seems to be the big catch for people. Tell us more about the X50's beamforming mic.
So the beamforming mics allow me to go like tight, medium, wide, and I can throw that acoustic fence out there. So if we were using this particular device in this call and I have the guys outside cutting grass, I could cut that out just from my beamforming. But it also does our camera tracking, right? So if I'm moving around, if Chris and I and Mark are all in the same room and we talk, it'll hop to us. You're going to hear at Zoomtopia a lot about Smart Gallery View, right? Smart Gallery View, Zoom's going to have its vendors start to enable that, and all of our systems will be able to do that. But what Smart Gallery is, say, again, Mark and I and Chris are in the same room. Chris and I have dominated conversation. So in Smart Gallery View on Zoom, you would see us two. And our third box would be a picture of the whole room. So, awesome. It just gives you that more in-room feeling, and our cameras can do that. Our X50 can also, so let me back up 1 second. The X30, yeah, there we go. Yeah. That's perfect. The X30 microphone pickup is 15 feet and the X50 is 25 feet. So you can see like the room size, right? A little bit smaller for my X30. My X50, I could get to a bigger room. Camera 4x zoom and 5x zoom. You see the presets, no on the X30, yes on the X50. Extra microphones, no and yes. So basically X30, small to medium. My X50, a little bigger. I can do the dual monitors on the X50. I like dual monitors because if I'm presenting, it's content on one side, people on the other side, presenter in the pip. So that's just how I grew up in the industry. Again, you're going to see this grow for us at Zoomtopia. This family line is going to grow a little bit. So real excited about that. So
I don't want to rush you, but I'm going to have to rush you because we have a ton of questions piling up.
Cool.
Mark, what is the next slide? Or are we getting into the questions at this point? Producer Mark's in the background running everything. This is obviously your Zoom certified product family. Yep. Your Eagle Eyes and your Eagle Eye producers are obviously the camera-based type stuff. Obviously, all of your USB-based appliances, the G7500. And this, obviously, you are more than just a Zoom certified shop. You obviously do products that are both for Zoom and Microsoft. So that is of importance, obviously. Obviously, here is your Microsoft. I don't want to put one against the other, but there seems to be a lot on this one. Can we
Yeah,
find out a little bit? I'm just teasing.
we've had a relationship with Microsoft for some 15 years, good or
Yeah,
bad, right? It's you hop through some hoops sometimes, but it's a huge Teams is huge out there for us.
sounds great. Okay. So let's get to the Q&A. Is that I think that's the signal that we got. Let's get right to the Q&A, and let's start off with the first question that we got from Sean. Albert, what is the weight of the Poly Studio? Is it lightweight enough to carry from classroom to classroom?
It's a little heavier than, say, the X30 up there or the P15. So maybe 3 pounds, 4 pounds. I should know that, but I'm sorry, Sean, I don't. But we can definitely get that back to you.
Well,
Could someone carry it? Yes. I mean, I have it with one hand.
We're going to make
They
him
could
do 100
definitely.
curls later and see how physically fit Albert is.
Right. Not
with Poly.
much.
Okay. Next question comes in from Kathy. Kathy's asking, is that USB connection on the P5 USB-C or A?
That one is A. Great question. You'll see some of our other products are A and C together. This is the connection we have on our Sync 40, and you'll also see that on our P21. But at this time, that is A on the, I'm sorry, that is C on the P5.
On the P5. And you can just easily, I'm sure it can be converted.
Yeah, you can throw an adapter on there.
Sounds good. Okay. Next question comes in from Kevin. Anything Teams certified that supports Poly desk phone and Windows computer audio?
Yes. So we have, that's a great question. We have our whole CCX line, and this is actually a CCX phone, but this is in Zoom mode. So this is actually a video phone for Zoom. We don't have that for Microsoft yet, but it's the same CCX series. So we have a ton of Zoom Microsoft phones. The CCX are a native to Teams. And when I talk native, I love native because I'm taking out those gateways and all that. CVI, I was talking about that interop in the sky. I like just my customers to be straight native, and we do have our CCX. The great thing we have about that too, some people don't even order the handset anymore. They just do the slick little box with the whatever.
Earpiece.
Yes, thank you. Whatever headset they like.
That's what I'm here for. I'm just here to spot you.
Yeah,
That's what we do.
Thank you. You're doing a great job.
All right. So next question comes in from Aaron. It seems that Poly is only releasing devices for the personal user or for the small, medium conference rooms. What does Poly have for large rooms, auditoriums, and custom installations? What do you have that is similar to the competition, Cisco CX80 WebEx Room Kit Pro?
Gotcha. So at Poly, we start all the way from this little $129 device to our huge 500,000, immersive telepresence room. So we have everything in between. But for your auditoriums, large boardrooms, that's where you would go with that G7500. That's where you get more IOs in there, right? You want to bring in soundboard, you want to bring in installed audio, speakers. That's where you would go in with that, our G7500. Now, that's between the X50 and the G7500. That's where you need to tune into a Zoomtopia, and you'll see a nice little, really slick, really, really nice. I've seen, I was in Austin last week with some Starin sales reps and saw some really nice, what's going to fit in that space. So definitely tune in there.
Unfortunately, folks, I was playing hooky, so I was not there. So don't ask me. I don't know. I got to get the down low from Albert after the call. Man, I don't like when I'm not invited to things. Anyway,
yes.
Steve Jennings has a question, and it ironically has to do with the G7500. You're going to talk about the G7500 and Teams.
Yes.
We addressed that just now with the large space conversation.
Right, somewhat, but Steve, that's a great question. We have been waiting for Microsoft to certify the G7500 for native Teams. We've been waiting for, as our customers have, it's got to be over a year now. I am hearing it's very close, but I've heard that before. We're just waiting for Microsoft to say yes. I hear the latest code, it's in there. You might be able to fool around with it and get it in native Teams, but I don't think it would be supported. So we're waiting for that certification from Microsoft. But fingers crossed, that'll be very soon.
Awesome. All right, I got a touchy subject question for you. Well, maybe more than one. Next
Yeah.
question. Again, Steve is being a hard hitter with these questions. Are you going to talk about the E70?
Yes, so we can talk about that. And I think we even have a little picture there. I don't have one with me. I can't wait to get one, but we have a slide and even a little video, right? Can we cue the video? Is that how I do that?
Yeah.
Cue the video?
You just say cue the video, Marcos, and first he'll show you the picture. Now
Yeah.
he's getting the video up so we can, don't forget to put sound on so we can hear it with you. So let's get that up and running before we get to the E70. Thank you folks for hanging out and listening in the meantime, but here we go.
The Poly Studio E70 is a first of its kind intelligent camera that brings top-tier video quality, state-of-the-art audio features, and advanced analytics to modern meeting rooms. Dual cameras with 4K sensors are boosted by PolyDirector AI technology to create an unparalleled video experience, perfect for hybrid working environments. With a 25-foot camera range, the Poly Studio E70 works best in medium to large rooms. To set up, simply connect the USB cable on the Poly Studio E70 to one of the available USB ports on the main conferencing system. Then, plug in the Power over Ethernet cord. You have the option to order a power outlet adapter separately. The Poly Studio E70 comes with a wall mount. You can also separately purchase a display clamp or display mount. The Poly Studio E70 can be mounted either above or below the monitor. Please follow the instructions included with your mounting kit. For use with Windows-based Microsoft Teams rooms, download PolyLens Desktop in order to access all device features. Now, let's go over the Poly Studio E70's main features. The integrated privacy shutter opens when the system wakes up or is in a call, but remains closed at all other times. The Poly Studio E70 has two 4K cameras, one wide angle and one narrow. This dual camera design allows us to cover a large room without the limitations of traditional optical zoom lenses, as well as provide high production quality group framing and speaker tracking. Speaker tracking is assisted by a beamforming microphone array. For Windows-based Microsoft Teams rooms, enable speaker tracking and group framing through PolyLens Desktop. For Poly G7500, enable through the web interface. After connecting the Poly Studio E70 to your Poly G7500 or Poly Windows-based Microsoft Teams room, the camera controls are available via the connected touch controller. For more information, visit poly.com/studio-E70.
Awesome. Thank you for providing us with that little video to kind of hopefully answer all the questions.
Now, Chris, I can do a wink, wink. Wouldn't it be nice if that camera was in one of our next gen products? That would be really cool. Wink, wink.
Wow, that was subtle, dude.
Yes.
That was super subtle. Well,
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps, answer some questions on the E70. Availability on the E70. Let's get that out of the way.
So shipments are coming into the disties, but get your orders in. I think it's going to be a hot product. We have a huge demand. With Poly, we released a product and get the demand up there, and then we're going to catch up to it. But I do want to say, I don't know, Chris, if it's the place to say this is probably going to be the replacement for the Eagle Eye Director 2. I don't know how familiar your audience is with our Eagle Eye Director 2, but you're going to see this as a replacement, and I'm sure you're going to see the ability to cascade these guys as well downstream. Not at first release with the E70, but you'll see us add and add. One of the cool features that the Starin crew loved was its director fade cut. Like if Chris and I was talking and it was going to Chris, sometimes it would just fade to Chris and boom, he was there. Not the herky jerky camera stuff. So your crew seemed to like that, your sales crew.
Well, I got a lot of people that like Metallica and the song Fade to Black. So that's kind of like why we do that sort of stuff. Next question comes in from Chris Brown. Can you speak to the recently announced, or yesterday's announcement of the Voyager 4300 UC series? Where does it fall in the lineup of specifically how does it compare to the Focus 2 UC?
So again, I like to see, I put them in good, better, best. I would put that in the best category as well. just underneath this one, just underneath the Voyager 2. It's our next gen product there. I have one on order to come, but I did see what we call a TOI, transfer of information for us SEs and salespeople. Looked really slick, more battery life, more comfortable, everything that we're doing with some of the Voyager stuff, just going to be a little less expensive than the Voyager 2.
If you've ever watched the show Pardon the Interruption on ESPN, are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have fact checkers, and you were incorrect before. The Starin portal. Starin portal shows the P21 at $815 MSRP. So
nice.
There you go. We're just getting the facts straight.
You're already saving them money.
There we go. Next question from Steve. Is Cisco on the roadmap with the appliance line?
So we have, Steve, great question. We have a whole competitive, competitive team that's always out there, not only looking at, Cisco, but Logi, Neat, everybody out there, D10, and how our products stack against that. I, as an ex-customer, don't like to compare to others, really. I like the customers to do a shootout or get their information or, go to Infocom and see both live. I probably wouldn't know enough about the Cisco product at this time to tell you anything too much anyway. But I would say, just do your due diligence, get out there and do a shootout between both of the products.
Sounds good. Next question from Chris. Are you able to comment on the possible upgrade to allow daisy chaining multiple studio E70 units? Wow, I could run out of breath saying that. Looking to upgrade several conference room boardrooms from Cisco-based endpoints as we move to Zoom rooms. I know that there have been some discussions about possibly being able to place multiple E70 units in different walls and have them work together, possibly a G7500. Might be some Zootopia related roadmap though, but we're trying to get any information. We'd be able to daisy chain the E70 is basically the big comment or the big kind of.
So on our SE call, yes, I am hearing that. That's definitely what they're working on now behind the scenes, not at release, not at launch. So your first rev, you're not going to be able to do that now.
Okay. But it's somewhere in there and discussions have been made.
Yes. I think the other cool thing, let me just add too, that all of our camera tracking works with mask as well. So I don't know how long we're going to be wearing masks at the office, but it'll track you with your mask on as well.
I'm not getting into the mask debate, but at some point, I'm sure masks are just kind of common at this time. Next question comes in from Steve. Steve's got a bunch of questions today. Good. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate it. I heard that you will be able to calendar and join team meetings from a Zoom room. Is that a Ollie question, or is that like...
No, that's a good question. These guys are good.
Insider question coming in.
Yeah, you guys are good. So what you're going to do there, Steve, is if I'm in native Zoom, you're going to have a way to do a Teams call. And if I'm in native Teams, a way to do a Zoom call, but you're doing that through direct guest join, which is really just browser based. So you're going to lose some feature functionality that you might have if I'm native, but yes, your calendar, that would pop up. Your customer would just hit join and they would go out via like direct guest join via almost browser based, but using the system. So I hope that answers your question. I've seen that done. I don't have it set up here, but it's pretty cool. And we can definitely show your customers at any of our Poly executive briefing centers.
Sounds good. Okay. Another question came in. Steve's got a lot of questions. That's what I'm here for. I don't seem to be able to get any camera control on Teams mode on the G7500. I don't know if that's a true or false or.
So you can't native Teams yet on the G7500. That is true. Okay. I think once you go native there, you'll probably see more and more features with the G7500 that you'd be able to do. In theory, it's the same software as our X30 and X50, right? It's the same software. It's what we call the RUC series. So you'll see that once it becomes native. I believe you'll be able to do a lot more.
All right.
But we also have sorry, 1 second, Chris. That's our Android side of the shop. Windows team rooms for Android. We have our Microsoft Team Rooms for Android is the X series and soon to be G7500, but we also have Microsoft Team Rooms for Windows, and that's where, it's more Windows based. So we have 2 different flavors of solutions for teams, native teams at this time.
Sounds great. Next question from Tony. Has the dual camera Eagle Eye auto tracking system gone away? If so, what replaces it?
So yes, Tony, we were kind of talking about that a little bit. The Eagle Eye Director 2, we have a component shortage. We are going to phase that out. You're still going to be able to buy that with our Windows, Microsoft Team rooms, our G85T, but you're going to see that phased out, and the E70 is going to phase in for that. So we're still, what are we, Tony, that the Eagle Eye Director 2 can do 30 to 33 feet. We just said the E70 can do 25 feet, right? Clean. So we're missing 5-7 feet. I think that's where you're going to see the work done, so we can do some cascading, like one of the gentlemen were talking about earlier. I will say this about the E70 as an ex-customer: the MSRP, and hopefully we have fact checkers somewhere. I thought was like just under 3,500, where an Eagle Eye Director 2 might have been 10, 11,000. So I think it's going to be good for our customers. A simpler setup, lighter. And if I can daisy chain 2 for 7K MSRP, I think I'd be in Schaefer City there.
Okay.
Schaefer's an old time beer.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to group a bunch of Steve's questions together because a bunch of them came in a flurry. So I'm going to jump down to Aaron's question. Is Poly going to release a camera with a standard video connector like an HDMI or SDI? And will the E70 have an HDMI SDI?
So not at this time, right? That's going to be a USB camera, or what we're hearing is maybe, PoE, that PoE right into, the LAN port right into my G7500 LAN port and connect it that way. So actually either connecting it that way and or pairing it over the network, like we pair I didn't even get in our TC8, but we pair our TC8 over the network for our X series. So you will see that.
All right. We got one in from somebody who remains anonymous. I had trouble getting USB devices off the Poly P15 Studio. Do they have full USB-A ports, possibly power only?
USB-A ports. I know on the back of it, we have USB, so I can slide in my dongle and use my headset with it. So there are some USB ports on the back.
There's 2 on the bottom.
Okay, 2 on the bottom. Thank you.
Yep.
So they are there, yes.
All right. I can jump down to Kevin. Question. I tend to use dual monitors with work from home. This results in a lot of me looking at the other monitor and people looking at the side of my face. Any kind of solution to have more cameras to keep more face on? I can kind of help with that too, but I'll give you the first shot.
Yeah. So, the P21, right, is spot on because I'm looking right at the monitor and I have my little camera built into the top. So that's what I use here. I have my PC and then my P21. So I'm always looking straight ahead. I do get on some calls where somebody has their over here. They don't realize their camera's here. And that's kind of odd to me, being working in the industry for this long. So I like the camera straight on. Chris, what about you?
I have created my own solution to kind of put the camera in the center of, I have dual 32-inch monitors, curved monitors in front of me, Kevin. So I've addressed it with a mounting solution. Maybe that's something we could take offline and I can kind of share with you the parts and pieces that I use to put it together. Because believe it or not, if you only could you want something to go back to Poly with, take that P15 and find a way to invert the camera so you can squish them between 2 monitors. And it will sell like crazy.
That'd be pretty wild.
Yeah. Give it a vertical as opposed to a horizontal kind of.
Right.
But anyway, I hope that answered the question. We're going to wrap up a bunch of these. Hold on, done. Let's go right through Steve's. I'm just going to tell you all Steve's questions so you can get them all. Steve,
you must want to win the Sync 20 or something, right?
We didn't even get to the prize. We didn't even get to the prizes yet. I suppose you cannot. About the big cam X50. Not talk. I'm assuming talk about the big camera X50.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the next gen. I cannot, Steve, until, like I said, Zoomtopia. But the next one of these we definitely can talk all about it. And Chris or your Starin rep can, once it's released, we can send you data sheets. You're going to see a ton of YouTube videos on it, collateral out there like that. It's pretty slick. And I will always say, get to our EBC center, bring your customers there. We have them in New York, Austin, San Jose, Herndon, Virginia, in the U.S. I think I'm missing one, but
I'm not
huge
going to hold
sellers.
you.
Yeah,
Tell them you need to know
thank
is
you.
that Starin. That's all you need. Starin.
Starin can get you there. Yep.
Next question from Steve. Plus, it will be IP soon, right? I guess he's referring to the new X50 is going to be IP.
I think he's talking about the E70, so
E70.
pairing it over the land. And Steve, that's what I'm hearing as well. Not there yet at first release, no, but that is the thinking of the engineers going forward.
Okay, and the question regarding Cisco that he had made earlier, will the Cisco be able to pair as a provider on an X series?
Yes, so we can put it in Cisco mode as well, and also in interoperability mode using CVI, the Cloud Video Interop from Cisco. You'd be able to do a WebEx call right here. One of my customers was a huge WebEx shop, and they would invite me. They would pop up on my calendar here, and I would just hit join. So there is a way to get Cisco units into yes. The X series can do Cisco and the G7500, and yes, in interoperability mode, we can also get there.
Sounds good. Steve also commented that it was now the 7500. I'm assuming he was referring to a question that you answered. So we'll get that. And will there be his final question, the final question of the day before we get to the big prize or the big prize giveaway? There's more than one. Steve asks, will there be a TC8 version that we can use as a scheduling display?
Oh, outside of the room. I'm hearing a little bit about that. Yes, Steve, I will say what we are doing real soon is, you see how we have it here? I'm going to be able to just slide this over, and I'm going to be able to do some room controls. We're going to have a connection back to Extron, and you'll be able to do some room controls, whether it's dim the lights, turn on the monitors, turn them off, just some rudimentary things in the beginning, some basics in the beginning, and then you'll see us add on. So I just heard about that at a TOI the other day as well.
Sounds good. Okay, well, that concludes our Q&A. I guess presenter Mark's going to drop up what we're giving away, because it's not a Starin Town Hall unless we get our manufacturers to offer up some cool prizes. And today we are up for some PolySync 20s. And Mark has spun the randomator in the background. Hold on, I lost my view. My computer is messing me up here. Sorry. Go here, I lost the chat. Excuse me, guys. And the first winner of the PolySync, based on what Mark sent me, is Daniela Ferrato. She wins the PolySync 20. The second person who has won the other PolySync 20 is Steve Jennings. Congratulations. You both have won a PolySync 20, courtesy of Poly and Starin. Thank you so much. Any parting words, Albert?
Just ease of use. That's what I think of as Poly and where we are with our systems, right? The USB, the X series, native mode. And if things are easy to use for your customers, they're going to adopt them more. And if they adopt them more, they're going to sell more. And if they sell more, well, we all do well, right?
Sounds good. Well, perfect. Where can we find out more about Poly? How do we get a hold of you? I mean, obviously, people that are looking for Poly can come to us at Starin. Starin.biz is obviously our website for those that are on the call. But where can we get more information about Poly's website, I guess?
Sure, Poly's website, but we have an outstanding person at Starin as well, Lori Belcher, and she has all the information, has all the contacts, can get anywhere. And your sales rep, right? Work with your Starin sales rep who works directly with Poly sales reps and are in the know constantly and constantly helping with deals. You're not out there on your own with Poly trying to close deals. We have enterprise sales rep, GEM sales reps, all the reps as well, and they can help you close deals.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much, Albert. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for allowing us to give away 2 of the PolySyncs to our PolySync 20s to the audience. We appreciate that. Mark, what do we have on? I'm sorry. Here we go. Copy. Mark, our PowerPoint presentation. Oh, there it is. I just found out. So next, we have our next our next Starin Town Hall is coming up next month. It will be a meeting with LG. So you guys get to talk to LG and find out all the cool things that LG is bringing to market, anything new, anything interesting and cool that comes from LG. Come by next month. We will be doing our town hall. Remember to add that to your calendar. We will push out the invite as soon as we get that. Thank you all again for joining the Starin Town Hall. My name is Chris Neto. I am the Market Development Manager for Starin. This has been Albert, who has joined us from Poly. Poly is a product that we know, love, and carry. Let us know if there's anything that we can do. We have our own in-house design team as well that can answer some of these questions. Lori Belcher is our account manager who handles the Poly account and is more than capable and ready to help out in any way, shape, or possible. So please join us next month for our next town hall. And I look forward to have a great summer, a great Labor Day weekend, which is coming up. Enjoy the holiday. And yeah, it sucks. Summer's ending. But guess what, folks? We're going to be in the thick of it right to the end of the year. Let's end 2021 in some good spirits. So thank you. Be safe. Keep your hands washed. Do all the good things. Take care. Have a great one.
Thanks, guys.